Hi guys, Mr. Erdigan here. I tried to find a video about atoms, but most of them were kind of too much information. So I'm just going to review what we talked about in class today, okay? So, to start off, we are now talking about matter, okay? Matter has two things, okay? What is matter? From the other video you saw, you should know matter is anything that has two things. It has mass, okay? And you know mass if you put something on a scale and it says like, something grams or something kilograms. That's what mass is, okay? Mass is the amount of mass inside of an object, okay? And volume, okay? Volume is how much space something takes up, all right? So in math class, maybe you remember your teachers would ask you like, what is the volume of this cube? And you would do, length times width times height, and it gets you the volume that tells you how much space an object takes up, okay? So, the easiest way to think about matter is just to remember that matter comes in three phases, okay? There are three phases of matter. And you should maybe already know this, but matter can be solids, okay? Matter can be liquids, okay? And matter can be gases, all right? Solids like apples, like humans, like you, okay? We already know that all living things are made up of one or more cells, right? But what are these cells made out of, okay? So we can go even smaller. Matter is made out of atoms. That's something you need to know. Matter is made out of atoms, okay? The smallest thing of everything in the universe, solids, liquids, and gases, is an atom, okay? So, atoms make up solids, atoms make up liquids, and atoms make up gases, okay? Matter is made of atoms. So, this week in class, we talked about the structure of an atom. What does an atom look like? Okay. So, you need to start, let's start in the middle. So, like, what is my pen made out of? My pen has mass, right? It's about, 5 grams. My pen takes up space. So, my pen is an example of matter because it has mass and volume. Alright, so what do the atoms inside my pen look like? Alright, so let's go over this. What is the basic structure of an atom? If you did not come to class this week, I would recommend you draw this with me. Okay? Alright, so let's start in the middle. Atoms have 3 subatomic particles. Okay? Particles mean something really, really small, okay? These are particles, okay? You can think of them as like little dots, okay? An atom is made out of 3 subatomic particles. So in class this week, we drew something like this. So first we're going to start in the middle of an atom, okay? The middle of an atom is called a nucleus. Just like when we did cells, like you remember these dots are the nucleus, and the nucleus controls the cell. An atom also has a nucleus, okay? So, inside the nucleus, there are 2 particles, okay? So, let's draw a couple of circles. Alright? So, inside these circles, I'm going to draw a P plus, P plus, P plus. Alright? So inside the nucleus of this atom, I have P plus. This means protons. Okay? So here I have 3 protons. Everything in the universe has some sort of electrical charge. Okay? Like when you touch metal and it goes zzz, and it shocks your finger, right? You transfer electricity, right? You need to know protons have a positive charge. Okay? Protons have a positive charge. That's easy to remember because P starts with protons start with P, and so does positive. Okay? So I am still inside the nucleus. Let me draw a couple more circles. Alright, now I'm going to write N0, N0, N0. Okay? N0, we call this particle neutrons. Neutrons. Okay? Neutrons are inside the nucleus with protons. They are stuck together. Okay? Neutrons have a neutral charge, or we call it a zero charge, or you can say no charge. Okay? They have no electrical charge. So let's review. Inside the nucleus, we have 2 particles. We have positive protons and neutral neutrons, or neutrons that have zero or no charge. Okay? Again, we're talking about, what is this pen made out of? My cells. What are my cells made out of? This paper. What is this paper made out of? My water. What is water made out of? The gas. What is gas made out of? Everything that is matter is made out of atoms. So we're going over what an atom looks like. Alright? Beautiful. So now let's go outside the nucleus. Okay? We're going to draw another circle like this. Okay, now we're outside the nucleus. You see a lot of empty space here. Okay? One thing you need to know about atoms is an atom is mostly empty space. Okay? An atom is mostly empty space. If you look inside the atom, you see lots of protons and neutrons that are stuck together. But most of the atom, there's nothing there. Okay? An atom is mostly empty space. Alright, now we're outside the atom. I'm going to draw very, very small particles. I'm going to write E minus, and these are very small. Okay? E minus. Okay? So, E minus are particles that are outside the nucleus. Okay, now we're outside the nucleus. E minus, okay, these particles are called electrons. Alright? Protons have a positive charge, neutrons have a neutral charge, and electrons, you need to know, they have a negative charge. Okay? Perfect. A negative charge. And you'll notice electrons are way smaller than protons and neutrons. Okay? So this is a proton, right? This is a neutron. And really, an electron is like that. Okay? So, another thing you need to know about atoms is most of the mass of an atom is inside the nucleus. Okay? Most of the mass of an atom is protons and neutrons. Electrons are very, very, very small. So electrons have very little mass, okay? Remember, mass is like saying something has like 10 kilograms or 5 grams, right? So, electrons have very little mass. Most of the mass of an atom is inside the nucleus. Okay? So, most of the mass of this atom, of any atom, is inside the nucleus because protons and neutrons are very big and electrons are very small. They have very little mass. Okay? So, most of the mass in an atom is inside the nucleus. Alright, let's go outside this a little further away from the nucleus. And I'm going to draw just one more electron, okay? This electron is special from these electrons, okay? These electrons are inside the electron cloud. We call this whole space outside the nucleus the electron cloud. Okay? So electrons move bing, 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 bing. They move really fast around the nucleus. Okay? Think of, the nucleus as like the sun and the electrons as like the planets that are orbiting around the nucleus but really fast. Okay? Outside the nucleus, we have the electron cloud, and this is where the electrons can be found, orbiting the nucleus really fast. These two electrons that are, not too far away from the nucleus, we call these inner electrons, okay? Because they're, inside the cloud, right? This electron that is the farthest away from the nucleus has a special name. We call this valence electrons. Okay? Valence electron. A valence electron are the electrons, and it can be one, and sometimes it can be more than one. Okay? In this case, there's only one valence electron. But sometimes atoms will have 2 or 3 or 4. Okay? Valence electrons are electrons that are farthest away from the nucleus. Alright? So, this is an atom. Alright? And inside my pen, there are billions of atoms. Okay? And they look like this. This is the basic structure of an atom. So, next week, when we talk about, the periodic table, you need to know what an atom looks like, because we're going to use these words a lot. Protons, neutrons, electrons. Okay? And like I said, if you missed class this week, I would recommend that you draw this. Alright, let's do some review questions. Okay? What 2 things does something need to have in order to be called matter? Basically, what is matter? Matter is anything that has what and what? Good job. Matter is anything that has mass or volume. Okay? If it has mass or volume, then it's called matter. Next question. What is matter made out of? Perfect. Matter is made out of atoms, okay? Solids, the smallest part of a solid, like my pen, is an atom. The smallest part of a liquid is an atom. the smallest part of a gas is an atom. Okay? Next question. What do we call the middle of an atom or the center of an atom? Perfect. We call this the nucleus, right? The nucleus is the middle of an atom. Next question. Which two subatomic particles are inside the atom? Perfect. Those are protons and neutrons. They are inside the atom's nucleus, or the middle. Next question. Which particle has zero charge, or a neutral charge? Good job. Neutrons have a neutral charge. Okay. Next question. What kind of charge do electrons have? Good job. Electrons have a negative charge. Okay. Next question. An atom is mostly what? Good job. An atom is mostly empty space. There's a lot of empty space here. Okay? A lot of space here. This is mostly empty. Next question. Where is most of the mass of an atom? Is it inside the nucleus or outside the nucleus? Very good. Remember, inside the nucleus, you have these big particles. You have protons and neutrons. So most of the mass of an atom is inside the nucleus. Electrons are very, very small. They have very little mass. They almost don't have a mass, okay? Their mass is like 0.000000000 something grams, okay? Very little mass. All right, next question. What do we call the area outside the nucleus? Perfect. The area outside the nucleus is called an electron cloud. All right, let's do one more question. What do we call the electrons that are farthest away from the nucleus? Good job. Electrons that are farthest away from the nucleus are called valence electrons. Okay? So make sure you know what an atom looks like before coming to class next week, so you're ready to talk about the periodic table.